right, and good evening, everyone. I'm Joshua Weisel here in the Weather 225 Storm Studios. It's been another hot one. When you factor in some of the rain that we've seen today, it's just adding to it. So, sleeves are rolled up. Typically, when you see someone in weather with the sleeves rolled up, that means severe weather. No, here, it's just survival in the heat because it's warm here in our studio. It's warm outside. It hasn't been as warm as it was, over the last several days with the highs into the triple digits between 100 and 105, and then the heat index value close to 120 in some locations, but it's still warm outside. So good news is it's cooler, but it's not super cool. But the good news is we do have some notably cooler weather on the way. We'll get to that here in just a minute. Here's a look at what we got for tonight across the region, and you can see we are expecting highs anywhere from the lower to the upper 70s area wide. It's going to be a little bit cooler in northwest Arkansas, southwest Missouri, River Valley, and Oklahoma are going to be a little bit warmer, close to the 80s in some locations. Now, there's going to be a chance for some rain with this activity that we're expecting the remainder of this evening, some tonight into tomorrow morning, maybe a little bit of a break by midday, and then more activity tomorrow afternoon and evening. Some of that could actually be strong to severe. We'll walk you through that here in just a little bit. We're not expecting widespread severe weather, but it's a low-end risk we just want you to be aware of. There's going to be a system that moves through tomorrow. So tomorrow afternoon, ahead of that system, temperatures are going to start to crank up a little bit more than what they have been over the last handful of days. So we're going to be back in the triple digits for several areas. Areas that have been a little bit cooler are going to be back into the mid to the upper 90s, right? Then as it moves through, you're going to notice a drop in those temperatures. We could have some lows tomorrow night in the 60s. So, it's just going to be a roller coaster. So we got a chance for some storms tomorrow, some cooler weather once we get past tomorrow afternoon. Let's walk you through what we got for the remainder of tonight into tomorrow morning. No highlighted risk for severe weather all the way through 7 in the morning. And you can see there, nothing to highlight, but there will be a chance for maybe a couple of storms. We've already seen it so far this evening. One or two of them could produce some winds, maybe 40, 50 miles an hour, right? Kind of like what we saw yesterday, but we're not expecting severe weather. So the good news is for tonight, no highlighted risk for severe weather. Rain chances, very similar to what we had this morning. No changes in the algorithm. So many areas, especially in southwest Missouri and our Arkansas coverage areas, into the high to expected category with the rain chances. Some of us could see a couple tenths of an inch. Some of us could see closer to maybe 1 or 2 inches. And, some areas today have seen some rainfall that kind of, stayed over the same location for quite some time, leading to some, measurable amounts of some rainfall. Good news is no widespread flash flooding potential, but there could be some ponding on some roadways with this activity. Some areas that see a little bit more activity could see maybe locally higher amounts. So, as you can see, that's a look at what we've got there. Coming up for your Foghorns Morning Fog Outlook, it's going to be another warm overnight and then warm start to the day tomorrow with that cloud coverage and, the conditions that are at play. There's really not a whole lot to highlight in terms of the fog potential. So the good news is for the time being, there's really no risk for widespread or really fog activity in general. The conditions just aren't there. So shout out to Foghorns for sponsoring the channel and this segment, and we're grateful to have them as sponsors here at Weather 225. Coming up, we're going to have a full look at that extended forecast. We're going to go through the severe weather probabilities for tomorrow, future scan, what exactly is bringing these rain chances and your extended pattern here in just, 30 seconds or just a little bit more. Not sure on the timing, but you know the drill. If you like our media and forecast, be sure to support us today on Patreon. You can advertise with us this storm season and throughout the year. Contact us today for availability and pricing. Weather 225 since 2015. All right, and welcome back. Here's a look at the drought monitor before we get into the chance for storms tomorrow. Let's talk about the update that we've got today. Now, every Thursday is when the drought monitor updates across the region, and you can see this is what we have now. But if we compare that to what we had last week, let's take a look at what we got. No changes. So there's no changes to the drought monitor at the moment, and hopefully some of this rain can help in some locations. Unfortunately, I don't think it's enough to create a major impact on the drought or anything along the lines there, unfortunately. So that's a look at what we've got there. It's still dry in many locations, not a whole lot of changes between last week and this week. So what's bringing the rain chances that we've had? Well, we've had a stalled system that arrived yesterday. It stalled out over the region, and it's not moving very quickly out of our neck of the woods, right? And you can see right now kind of moving through Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, all the way down to just near Shreveport and Clinton, Mississippi. It's to the south of our coverage area. It's not moving, and that's leading to some prolonged shower and storm activity kind of along and near where that system is located, and that's why we had some widespread rain yesterday and almost overproduced in terms of the forecast. So that system's been leading to these rainfall chances, and you can see as it's kind of just to the south and west of Tulsa, hasn't quite made its way through Stillwater just yet. It's almost just basically right over Stillwater, right? And that's where we're getting these rain and thunderstorm chances associated with this activity. So we make our way into Future Scan. Let's show you what we got with the rain for the remainder of this evening. Future Scan's done a terrible job today. I got to say, it's not handling it very well, but tomorrow morning could have some scattered showers and some thunderstorms. Not widespread. Not everyone's going to see this activity, but just be mindful of that. And this will continue into tomorrow morning, like we said. So there may be a couple rounds in the morning. So heads up, if you're headed out early in the morning, 4 to 9 o'clock in the morning, there could be some shower activity that pushes through. So we make our way to midday. There might be a little bit of a break. The main activity that we're talking about and the potential for severe weather is going to arrive later into the evening, late afternoon, early evening. So there's 5 o'clock. You can see that activity becoming more numerous. Here comes that system. And right along that system, we're going to have shower and thunderstorm activity. Some of that could be strong to severe. Now, I just want to let you know, if you have severe weather anxiety, this activity, it's a low end risk for severe weather. We'll walk you through that here in just a second and break down those risks. The primary risks are going to be large hail and some damaging winds, right? The tornado risk is very low, but it's not zero. We can't rule that out. So we make our way into August 1st. You can see we've got a chance for some scattered showers, but nothing widespread. It's primarily in southwest Missouri. So let's walk you through that severe weather probability that we were talking about here. And this is mostly for southwest Missouri and northwest Arkansas. Keep in mind, Mother Nature doesn't look at our algorithm and the Storm Prediction Center and go, okay, that blue area, there's only going to be storms there, right? I think there's a chance for some widespread, activity. Not everyone's going to see that. It's tricky when I say widespread because I don't want you to think everyone's going to see rain, right? When I'm talking widespread, we have a pretty big coverage area. So if you have that little line of storms that moves through and it clips a large portion of the area, not everyone's going to see it, but it moved through a pretty good, area of the coverage region. So with that, there's a chance that maybe this expands a little bit further to the west. We'll have to wait and see with the models. But right now, notice it's low. It's not medium, it's not high, and it's certainly not extreme. So I don't want you to overly worry about it, but just be mindful for evening plans tomorrow. There could be a couple of storms and, just something to keep an eye on. Yeah, we've got the wind risk across the area. It does include parts of the coverage area, into Arkansas. But notice the hail risk, it's mostly in southwest Missouri, but I don't want you to look at that and take that too literally. I think for, Arkansas, southwest Missouri, parts of northeast Oklahoma, it's a pretty good opportunity for some hail, some damaging winds, and the tornado risk is low. It's not zero, but I think the greater opportunities, southwest Missouri, probably far north, northwest Arkansas. So we'll keep an eye on it. We'll let you know the very latest. Other than that, these temperatures, they're sticking around for a while, unfortunately, and it's not just us. It looks like it's a pretty large portion of the country that's going to stay above average with those temperatures, and even worse, it looks like it just, not sure what it just did there. I apologize for that. Sometimes the graphics just have a mind of their own, so I apologize for that. Even worse, notice we're going to stay in the below average category for some precipitation. So enjoy this weather while it lasts because we might be headed back into summer here pretty shortly. Now I can show you the 7-day forecast. The computer was just excited to show you the weekend, I guess. We're talking 80s, lower 80s Saturday, mid 80s Sunday, and then we're back at it into the 90s by early next week. Chance for showers and thunderstorms tomorrow is 40% for a large portion of the area. A little bit less in the River Valley, but keep in mind by tomorrow that may change. We're just waiting to see what the latest short run models are going to say in terms of how that activity pushes further to the south. We'll let you know the latest. Triple digits look possible in the River Valley tomorrow, and then once again by the time we get to Thursday. Same with northeast Oklahoma. Very similar forecast to the River Valley. Roller coaster in temperatures, but I tell you, this weekend looks wonderful. Get out there and enjoy those temperatures because, after all the brutal heat that we've seen, enjoy the lower 90s. I know that's weird to say, and this is the odd thing with these forecasts, and a couple of, people were asking, well, where's the cooler weather you were mentioning, right? It is technically cooler. It's still warm. So unfortunately, I'm not talking, 70s or anything like that, but some of these areas in the lower 80s, we'll take it. But even though it's going to be cooler next week, as you can see, even the mid-upper 90s is technically cooler than what we've seen, but it's still going to be pretty hot out there. So take care of yourself. That's a look at the forecast we've got there. And thank you so much for tuning into this extended forecast, your local forecast as well. I'm Joshua Weisel. Have a great rest of your evening.